Good morning. This week we are going to discuss sampling theory. So first we will discuss what is the meaning for surveys. When we conduct sampling theory, sample survey, first we need to know what is the purpose of survey, what is the need of survey, why we need to conduct a survey. First, for collecting data about the population, labor, agriculture, industry, trade, to etc. If we need to know any information, then for doing any analysis, we need to collect information regarding this area. That is the need for conducting a survey. Next, need to collect data arises in all walks of life, because we need to collect information in for every purpose. That is the main purpose of survey, is to collection of information to satisfy a definite need. Then technical terms. So before continuing with the methods of sampling, first we will see some terminologies which is used in sampling theory for better understanding. First, an element. What is the meaning for element? Element is an object on which a measurement is taken. Next, population. Population means a whole aggregation of theoretical aggregation of specified elements defined for a given survey, defined by time and space. Then sample is a subset from the population. Sample element is a case or a single unit that is selected from the population and measured in some way for the study. Sampling frame, a specific list containing the names or addresses of all elements in the population. From this, the researcher selects units to create the study sample. Next, sampling unit. These sampling units are non-overlapping collections of elements from the population that cover the entire population. Then parameter. Parameter means a numerical characteristics of a population. Statistic, numerical characteristics of a sample. The calculating scheme of formula for obtaining appropriate value of the population parameter based on the sample observation is called estimator. The particular value of estimator with respect to a sample is called estimate. Average value of all possible estimates based on an estimator from repeated trials of a sampling scheme is called expected value. Difference between the expected value of the estimator and the true value of the parameter is called bias. Measure the closeness of the estimator with its expected value. The variance of an estimator is usually used to measure precision. That is what precision. Accuracy, it refers to the closeness of the estimate and the true value of the parameter. The mean square error of the estimator is used to measure the accuracy. Estimator is both accurate and precise only if the estimator is unbiased. Then first we will see the method, complete enumeration method or census method. This is 100% study. Census method means 100% study. The method of collecting data from every unit of the population. The main advantage of this method is the results are more representative, accurate, and reliable. Then the results are free from sampling error. Then the census data may be used as a basis for various other surveys. At the same time, we have some disadvantage of this method, because when we approach this census method, we need to spend a lot of effort, money, and time. Then there is no way of checking the error in the data except through a resurvey or sample checks. Census is practically impossible for a researcher or a small organization. If the population is infinite or the enumeration is destructive in nature, the census cannot be used. These are the disadvantage of this method, census method. Next is sampling. Sampling means a method of collecting data from a representative part of the population. That is what we call it is sampling. The advantage of approaching the sampling method is it reduces cost, time, and labor. At the same time, greater scope, then greater accuracy. If the population is hypothetical or infinite, only sampling is possible. It is always possible to determine the extent of sampling error. At the same time, we have some disadvantage, that is a proper choice of the sampling method is not made. The result may be misleading. Second, the chances of sampling errors are great in sampling. Next, when the population is small, we can't use sampling. Then when the information is needed from each unit in the population, sampling cannot be used. These are the disadvantages of this method, sampling method. Some points about the sampling, that is neither sampling nor census admits universal application. Census and sampling will produce identical conclusion when the population is perfectly homogeneous. It is a curious fact that the results from a carefully planned, well-executed sample survey are expected to be more accurate than those from a census survey. Sampling theory aims to make sampling more effective so that the answer to the particular question is given in a quick, valid, efficient, and economical way. Then this is the structure of sampling breakdown. Who do you want to generalize to? That is what theoretical population. What population can you get access to? That is what study population or target population. How can you get access to them? That is what sampling frame. Who is in your study? That is what the sample. This is the structure of sampling breakdown. Then sampling, how we are taking sampling. First, we identify the target population. From the target population, we observe a study population. From the study population, we are taking a sample. That is a subset from the study population that we consider as a sample. This is how the sampling method is approached. Then the process of sampling method. The process of sampling method consists of several stages. First, defining the population of concern. Second, specifying a sampling frame, a set of items or events possible to measure. Then specify a sampling method for selecting items or events from this frame. Next, determine the sample size. Next, implementing the sampling plan. Then sampling and data collecting. Reviewing the sampling process. These are the process we follow when we approach sampling procedure. Now, the sampling technique. When we talk about sampling technique, we classify into two categories, that is non-probability sampling method and probability sampling method. The probability sampling methods are simple random sample, stratified random sample, systematic sample, cluster sampling, then multi-stage sampling. At the same time, the non-probability sampling method is classified into some category like convenience sampling, judgment sampling, quota sampling, snowball sampling. Even apart from this, we have one more method, that is panel sampling. That also we will discuss. Simple random sample. First, when we approach the simple random sample, this method is applicable when population is small, homogeneous, and readily available. Second, all subsets of the frames are given an equal probability. It provides for greatest number of possible samples. This is done by assigning a number to each unit in the sampling frame. A table of random number or lottery system is used to determine which units are to be selected. Number each frame unit from 1 to capital N. Use a random number table or a random number generator to select small n, that is sample size, distinct numbers between 1 to capital N inclusively. Easier to perform for small population, cumbersome for large population. Advantage of simple random sample. Its estimates are easy to calculate. Simple random sampling is always an EPS design, but not all EPS designs are simple random sample. At the same time, we have few disadvantages. That is, if the sampling frame is large, this method is impracticable. Then minority subgroups of interest is the population may not be present in the sample, insufficient numbers for study. Next is systematic sampling. In systematic sampling, convenient